continue Jimmy Stein's countdown of the roster. We'll go through numbers 25 through 21. We've got some other stuff we're going to talk about, some little bit of recruiting news, and just things like that, getting you ready for the NCAA tournament. But we're not going to really talk basketball today because we got a few days. We still don't even know who we're playing. So y'all bear with us. Stick with us. Appreciate you making us the first place you listen to an Alabama podcast every single day. And let's get started.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. It's rainy.
One of my favorite things to do whenever we start this podcast is to watch you try and adjust yourself so that you look better to yourself when you're looking at yourself in the phone. I think that's cool.
That's not really what's happening, but yeah, I'm always adjusting whenever you record on a phone, it's hard to get used. It's hard to get used to that because the camera is not in the center of the phone.
That's right.
The camera is not in the center of the phone. So it's very difficult to wrap my head around that fact.
No, I'm with you on that. Like, I spend most of my time, and it's also hard to grasp the opposite aspect. Like, every time I want to fix my hair, because my hair always looks like crap on this thing, I'm always doing this, and I'm like, nope, need to do this, and then it doesn't do right. Anyway, Jimmy Mack Wilson, former Alabama great, has been traded from the Browns to the Patriots, so good for him as we go through some quick hitters right now. Also, on your site, On3, there was talk about a kid named Christian Gray, a defensive back out of St. Louis, who is giving Alabama some high marks, number 109 player in the country, according to On3. And there was a lot of talk about Arch Manning and how Alabama is very much in it on the On3 website. And, I guess I didn't think much about how the Nico Iamaleava stuff affects Arch Manning because, I mean, first of all, it's never been confirmed that Nico Iamaleava is the guy with the $8 million signing bonus, quote unquote, to go to a university, that university probably being Tennessee. But it sure feels like that's what it is. And if that is the case, boy, how interesting would that be for the Arch Manning sweepstakes?
It's a big deal. And this is what, I mean, this makes it sound like I'm saying something negative or warning people or just predicting doom. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just pointing out that look at the quarterbacks Alabama is involved with or seemingly recruiting. Nico is one of those guys. If Tennessee's paying him $8 million and he's already signed that deal with the collective, then he's out. Christopher Vizina from Birmingham, who everybody has always assumed Alabama is in on because he's from Birmingham and he's a 5-star or he's going to be a 5-star. He reports he doesn't hear from Alabama very much, and he is being recruited very heavily by some of the best programs in the country. So you have to take Vizina out. I mean, he's gonna be committing soon to maybe Clemson or possibly Ohio State, but he's out. So really, in terms of big name quarterbacks, it seems or it feels like it's arch or bust for Alabama. Unless Alabama gets heavily involved with a new name. I think Alabama, to some extent, is recruiting Dylan Lonergan from Georgia. I guess that's a name that we have to keep out there. Lonergan, however, has extensive ties to Penn State. So we'll see. But it does sort of feel like it's arch or bust for Alabama. But the good news is Alabama is in very good shape for Arch, who is, in my opinion, easily the number one quarterback in this class nationally.
Yeah, and how long do you think the Arch Manning thing will go on? I mean, is he going to be a guy who commits early and then acts like a Pied Piper, or is he going to wait till the end?
I think it'll be a little bit in between. I don't think there's anything official. No one knows for sure. I'm not even sure the Mannings know. But if we're guessing on when he's going to commit, I would say the end of summer, maybe sometime in July.
Okay, I can live with that. I'd love to. I mean, that's early to me. Um,
Right.
Jimmy, so that we have plenty of time to go into your roster countdown. I want to get 5 guys in today. Boyd is going to be number 1, and we'll talk about him as soon as I tell you about Stat Hero. Look, I love March Madness every single year. My brackets always suck because that's just everybody's brackets always suck. You can always throw them away after the first weekend generally. That's why Stat Hero is different. Stat Heroes NCAA single game pick'ems pits the star players against each other in an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. Take control back from those handicappers that always seem to have the advantage. Stat Hero gives you that. Stat Hero focuses on the players you know best with a gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads or funky props or anything like that. Stat Hero gives you the advantage, resulting in their gamers winning 4 times more often. Why is that? Because Stat Hero eliminates the mystery about who or what you're going up against. Sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon. Use promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon. Use promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% match. If you didn't hear me, I'm going to say it again. stathero.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions may, and I assume will, apply. Then there's Built Bar. These things are awesome. You know they're awesome. I love their puffs. They're a fan favorite with everybody, including me. And they've got all these incredible flavors like cinnamon churro, coconut, marshmallow, banana cream pie. All these are so good. And they're covered in chocolate. All Built Bars are. Yes, even the puffs, 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bar with these Built Bars and puffs. They are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. Well, Built Bars, they're about 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Hard to beat that. At Built Bar, they're all about taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off. That's just the way it is. Go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 at built.com to get 15% off of that order. Jimmy, I want to tell everybody to check out the Bracket Breakdown show from our Locked On buddies, including us. We will have a little bit to do with that. So looking forward to it, the Breakdown show. Locked On Bracket Breakdown show. Okay, you say that 5 times real fast on a whim, on winging it. Let's see how good you are, people criticizing me right now. Anyway, let's talk about your roster countdown. Let's go to who you have number 25 on the roster is Justin Aboigbe. I believe I'm saying that correctly. And I think, Jimmy, I think he's low. But see, without having gone throughout the whole countdown at one time, it's hard to really say that. But I do think he's low on your list.
Well, he is a member of what I call the first team defensive line rotation. There's 4 guys that are returning that have played with the ones quite a bit on defense. Byron Young, Tim Smith, DJ Dale, and Justin Aboigbe. And I have Aboigbe the lowest rated of those 4, but I have him ahead of all the other defensive linemen, just in the sense that he's played with the first team and he's played well. I think the thing with Aboigbe is we have seen in flashes that he can play. That's why he's playing with the first team. He's been playing first team snaps since he was a freshman, and now he's about to be a senior in his 4th year. He's always played, but he's never been what I would call, he's not the reason we win the games. He's a reason the defensive line is good. He's a reason the defensive line is deep, but he's not a reason we win the games. He's got to take another step in his development, and he's sort of running out of time. He is a senior. He could come back and play in 2023 with the COVID year if he chooses. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that because I'm not sure how high his NFL stock is at this time. But he is a good player.
Yeah, definitely a good player. I like him a lot. Oh, my God. Did you just vomit?
It was a big cough, but I smartly muted myself.
You did mute yourself. I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Yeah, I did. I'm figuring this phone out.
So then you have number 24 is Trey Sanders. That's interesting. I think that's high for him because we just don't know what we're going to get. I feel like you're basing this off his 5-star status from a couple years ago.
Well, not really. Part of it I'm based on, I thought in the playoffs, he wasn't back to what I think he can be, but I do think that he was back in terms of a guy that could really help us. I thought he looked quicker, faster, stronger in the playoffs, and that was just with a month layoff from the season. I'm just gaining confidence that slowly but surely Trey Sanders is going to be back to his old self. It was going to be a long march getting there, and I think he is getting there. I think he will be no worse than the number 3 back on the team this fall, and a guy that we have less hesitation to use. And he'll just be healthier and healthier. I won't be surprised at all, Luke, if he even has a nice A-Day. I think we're getting closer to the old Trey.
I would love to see it. And when you say the old Trey, see, we don't even know what the old Trey is, frankly. We're all basing it on his 5-star status. We don't know what he is.
Well,
we believe
we
he's
got
really
a good look at him the week before the accident, like literally the game before the accident. I think it was against Mississippi State in 2020. He played really well. I don't think he had a 100-yard game. It was something like an 80-yard game, but it was only on about 9 carries, and he looked good. I mean, it was just like he was just finding his way into being a really good college football player, and then the accident. So I think we've seen flashes of it. We've even saw some flashes of it last season. He wasn't his old self, but you can tell he's a natural back. He runs with power. He did have speed and burst before the accident. That has slowly improved over time. And I'm still optimistic that we're going to have a really good Trey Sanders by the time he leaves.
Here's hoping you're right. Jimmy, I want to tell everybody about Rock Auto. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain to stock all the parts you need. Why endure the often pointless and seemingly intimidating questioning like, is your Honda Odyssey an LX or an EX? That's my impersonation of a dude behind the counter at a local chain store. And wait while the person behind that counter, who I just impersonated, orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand that their warehouse happens to carry. You don't want to deal with that. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30 to 100% more for the same part from a chain store? That doesn't even make sense, especially now. Gas is, $82 a gallon. It's insane. You need to save money everywhere you can. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet. Whatever you want, they got it at rockauto.com. Go there right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in the How'd You Hear About Us box, so they know Locked On Bama sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All right, Jimmy, last 3 guys for today. J.C. Latham at number 23. Again, I feel like he's low.
Well, he's got to win a starting spot. I think just about everybody projects J.C. Latham to be a starter this fall. I know I do. I think he will. And we're basing that, again, part off the recruiting hype. But he did play as a true freshman. Let's remember that. I think some people were hoping he would be a starting tackle, start all season, be sort of the savior of the offensive line. That didn't happen. And people were a little disappointed. But then as the season wore on, we started seeing him more and more. And then lo and behold, in the playoff, Ekiyor gets hurt. Latham comes in and plays most of the Cincinnati game at guard. And when I watched the replay, I really focused on him. He played really well. He more than held his own. And I think, considering tackle's probably a better position for him, and he was kind of thrown into the fire, and it was against a good opponent, I think there's all sorts of reason to be ecstatic about J.C. Latham going forward. But he's down here around that 23 range, just simply because, Luke, he hasn't been a starter. He hasn't played a lot. We haven't seen him at tackle. So it's still a projection that he's going to be a great player. But there's plenty of reason for optimism.
Okay. I think that's fair enough. I was killing you about Trey for ranking him for his 5-star status. Now I'm getting on to you for not ranking Latham enough for 5-star status, but whatever. Number 22 is DJ Dale. He's been at Alabama. He came to Alabama in Lorenzo Whammy Award signing class, and he's been here ever since. So tell me about DJ.
Well, he started right away as a freshman, and it was a surprise to people. It was a surprise to me. He was a pretty highly regarded recruit, but I don't think anybody out there said, here's a guy who's going to start day one at Alabama, and he did. But then he ran into some issues with his knees, both knees actually. Every knee he's got was hurt at one point, and I think that's hurt his development. Now last season, a little healthier, and we saw a better DJ Dale, particularly the second half of the season. I thought he was really good. Everything is in place for DJ Dale to have his best season since he's been at Alabama, and I'm excited to see that. This is maybe not a difference maker, maybe not an All-American, maybe not a high draft pick, but this is a very solid, experienced SEC football player.
All right, final one for today, Jimmy, is Javion Cohen. I think you got him just right at number 21. Just right. You nailed it. Good job, Jimmy.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I carefully pick where to put these guys. Cohen is going to certainly be a starter. I have him on the lower end of the 22, just basically because while he was a full-time starter last year and did fine, that's what he did. He did fine. He's good enough to where he started all year. There was never a question to bench him. And I don't think there's a question that he's going to be a starter this year, but he has yet to play at an all-star level. And that's the challenge for him. One step further for Javion means, okay, now you're a full-time starter. Now be one of the better offensive linemen in this league. Contend for all-star honors. That's the challenge to him. I think he may meet it. It'll be interesting to see if he plays guard or tackle.
All right, buddy, that'll do it for today's episode of Locked On Bama. The roster countdown was the main focus. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have more roster countdown stuff. And, we might – I'm not sure when we're going to cut tomorrow's podcast, but we should have an answer about who Alabama's going to play if we do this the way I want to do it. But we don't always do it the way I want to do it. So we'll see. We'll go from there. Jimmy, we will talk tomorrow. And until then, roll tide, buddy.